Now let us talk about life sutras. Sutra means a thread. Sutra also means a formula. So here we are taking sutra both as a thread as well as a formula. It is a thread upon which a garland can be made. So we are trying to make a garland which can be put around our life. And for that, we are going to be using certain sutras. Only and only once you step out of your comfort zone, अपने आराम के क्षेत्र से आप बाहर निकलेंगे तभी जाकर प्रगति होगी. Then and only then will there be some kind of progress. So this is something that I have realized over time. Maybe I've learned it from my mentors, maybe I've learned it from my guru, maybe I've learned it through some self-help book, maybe I've learned it just by my own mistakes. But this is not a philosophy. Unfortunately, too much philosophy has percolated into people's minds, but not enough sense what to do. For anything and everything, they will have a philosophy, but very little sense. So what I am doing as a life coach is just knocking on the heads of certain people who are willing and try to put enough sense into it just through the simple act of asking the right questions. See, all solutions are within you. Every solution is only within you. But the question is, are you willing to take that answer out from yourself? Or you are just going with the flow unconsciously? That's the only choice you have. So I get paid to teach common sense. That's what I've said multiple times in my sessions, particularly to people around from tier one cities, the high-fi cities, as we call it, the metros. I get paid to teach common sense, and this is coming too easy for you. Don't let this opportunity go. Don't waste it. So you see, failure is like a potential energy. All of us have read in class, at least till 10th, we have all read about work, energy, and power. Failure is like a potential energy. You see, if there is a spring, the harder you press it and release it, the faster it bounces back. Let's say if this size of spring is there, you just press it a little bit and it will bounce back only that much. However, if you press the same spring and condense it, press the spring as minimum as possible, like literally to as minimum size as possible. You've pressed it fully and then you release it. It bounces back too fast. This is exactly what failure is. It is like a potential energy. Failure is pressing you, pressing you, pressing you, pressing you. A point will come wherein it cannot push you beyond that limit. That is where our potential energy is at the maximum. और जब ये पोटेंशियल एनर्जी मैक्सिमम होगी तो जो जंप होगा, जो शिफ्ट होगा, that will also be of a quantum nature. I would say it's a quantum shift. So you learn to accept failures as a potential energy. After all, in fact, one of the sessions I took recently was on the topic failure is your friend. So you have to realize and acknowledge the fact it's all right. Certain days we'll pass, certain days we'll fail, but so what? This is like life, and life is like a game of cricket. The only thing is there are no fielders, there are no wickets behind you. Unlimited number of balls are coming at you. You keep swinging your bat. Some you'll hit out of the park, some you'll hit along the ground for four, some you'll hit just for a single or double, and many you'll miss. But there is no getting out. There is no dearth of opportunities. So there is no point on literally dwelling on yesterday as long as you did the best you could. The key here is you did your best. The key here is not you did it better than someone else. मेरी जितनी कैपेबिलिटी थी, कैपेसिटी थी, क्षमता थी, उसके अनुरूप या उसके अनुसार मैं कितना अच्छा कर पाया, वो इकलौता सवाल है. सवाल ये नहीं है कि मैंने उससे अच्छा किया क्या, उससे अच्छा किया क्या, उनसे बढ़िया किया क्या. नहीं, द ओनली क्वेश्चन इज कल से बढ़िया मैंने आज किया कि नहीं किया, फर्स्ट। सेकेंडली, मैं जैसा कल था उसके मुकाबले मैंने बढ़िया किया, अपने आप का मैंने बेस्ट दिया या नहीं, दैट्स इट, नथिंग एल्स मैटर्स। द important thing is that what you thought was the best you could yesterday should not be good enough to you anymore tomorrow. This is showing an incremental change. This is showing a pattern of growth. Let's say मैं एक टेल एंडर बैट्समैन हूँ और मैंने जिंदगी में कभी 10 रन नहीं बनाए, बट मैं रोज प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ क्रिकेट, बैटिंग की कर रहा हूँ। आज मैंने 10 रन बनाए, तो कल जब मैं प्रैक्टिस के लिए आऊंगा ना, तो मेरा माइंडसेट ये रहना चाहिए एटलीस्ट 10 से तो आगे जाना है। अब वो 11 होता है, 21 होता है, 31 होता है या 101 होता है, वो बात की बात है। बट द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, कल जो मुझे लग रहा था कि मेरा बेस्ट है, वो आज मेरे लिए बेस्ट का पैमाना नहीं होना चाहिए। So that matrix, that bar is shifting above with each passing day. That is indicative of you living an incremental life. मतलब जिसमें प्रोग्रेस और ग्रोथ हो रही है। अदरवाइज इट्स लाइक अ स्टैटिक लाइफ, वो बिल्कुल फ्लैट लाइन कर्व है, कर्व है ही नहीं, इनफैक्ट फ्लैट लाइन है ग्राफ पे। एंड यू नो व्हाट, जैसे ही ईसीजी में फ्लैट लाइन आती है ना, उसका मतलब होता है गेम ओवर, गेम ओवर। वी डोंट वांट टू बी getting out so early, right? So if you are living, if you are anyway breathing, why not make it a exponential curve? Why not make it a sinusoidal curve? Any type of curve you want, not at least this flat line. That is all I want. So keep improving, and if you want to create a future, it's very important that you use your past as a stepping stone, not as a load. It's very essential. Just as I told you, failure is like a potential energy. Failure is your friend. अगर हमको भविष्य अपने हिसाब से बनाना है, तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अपने भूतकाल की और जो भी गलतियां हमारी हुई हैं, सिचुएशंस हमने फेस करी, उस सबसे एक लेसन ले। यू यूज इट एज अ स्टेपिंग स्टोन, नॉट एज अ लोड। सी, पत्थर वही है। अब आप उस पत्थर के ऊपर चढ़ के और ऊंचाई पे पहुंच जाओगे, या फिर आप उस पत्थर को अपने सिर पर रख के और नीचे झुक जाओगे। दैट इज द ओनली क्वेश्चन यू हैव। The question is, you either placing the stone above your head and feeling the load of it, or you using that stone as a stepping stone, as a pedestal to get upon and in turn raise yourself to new heights. That is the only question that is there. And in the world, of course, there are no problems, there are just situations. What may be a grave problem for you might mean nothing to me. इसका क्लासिकल एग्जांपल है, व्हेन आई वाज गिविंग माय 10th क्लास एग्जाम्स, 12th क्लास एग्जाम्स, व्हेन आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर प्री मेडिकल एंट्रेंस टेस्ट, दैट पर्टिकुलर ईयर, द स्टडीज आई वर डूइंग, द बुक्स आई वाज रीडिंग, इट फेल्ट लाइक दिस इज द ओनली थिंग इन द वर्ल्ड। माय ओनली प्रॉब्लम वाज, मेरे को ये सब पढ़ के याद करके खत्म करना। आई जस्ट नीडेड टू रीड, revise, wrote, memorize, and replicate it in the exams. That's how, unfortunately, Indian education systems work. तो मेरे लिए वो एक प्रॉब्लम थी, क्या करूं, इतनी प्रॉब्लम है यार, कैसे होगा। एंड बिलीव यू मी, just as soon as I got into class 11th, as soon as I passed my school exams, as soon as I got into a medical college, every time I look back and I was like, ये कोई problem है? What is this? It can be done by anyone and everyone. The problems are not necessarily problems per se. The problems are your viewpoint, your outlook for a given situation based on which stage of life you are. So if you have literally overstepped that stage of life, if you have literally passed the needs for a particular thing, that situation will not seem like a problem to you. It's a viewpoint in life. It's never about the situation as such. So it's essential that we realize there are no problems in life, just situations. Now, if we see it as a situation, the subconscious mind will start thinking, how do I improve this situation? And that is precisely what we want. We want solutions to improve the situations, not to solve the so called problems. This is a belief system I want you to install in your head right now. So you write it down in your journal. There are no problems in the world, just situations. And this, for me particularly, has been, if I were to pick one singular life sutra that I live my life with, this is the one. There are no problems in life, just situations. How you view those situations, how you improve upon those situations is all in your mindset. So growth essentially means to make yourself the way you want to be. Remember what I said at the very beginning of the workshop. Living is not about you filling up your day. Living is about you realizing how you want to be and then taking action to creating a life how you want it to be. This is exactly what growth is. This is exactly the mindset that we need to install, that you make yourself the way you want to be. And how you want to be may change as you mature. थ्रू आउट आवर लाइफ, जब 10वीं में थे तो पेरेंट्स पर लाइक बस 10th पास कर लो, सब सेट हो जाएगा। ओके, 10th में अच्छी मेहनत करी, बस 12th पास कर लो, सब सही हो जाएगा। ओके, 12th में अच्छे से मेहनत करी, बस टीएमटी का एग्जाम क्लियर कर लो, मेडिकल कॉलेज में लाइफ सेट। ओके, एग्जाम पास कर लिया, मेडिकल कॉलेज में पहुंच के पता लगा है यहाँ तो और प्रॉब्लम है। देन यू गिव all the exams, the professional exams, vivas, semesters, so on and so forth, वो कंप्लीट हो गई। सीनियर्स वर लाइक बस फाइनल ईयर पास कर लो, उसके बाद लाइफ सेट है। फाइनल ईयर पास कर लिया, इंटर्न कर लो, इंटर्न के बाद सब सेट हो जाएगा। ठीक है, इंटर्न कर ली, फिर नहीं अब तो पीजी करनी है। लाइक दिस, हाउ यू आर एट अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेज इन लाइफ इज गवर्निंग what growth means for you at that stage in life. There is no preset notion, there is no parameter कि growth means point 1 2 3 4 5, नहीं, growth means you are transforming yourself the way you want to be, and the way you want to be will obviously be changing as you mature, as you grow in life, as you pass through different trials and tribulations and experience so many things. How you look at situations, how you behave in situations, how you actually deal with life, anything and everything is going to change. So the definition of growth also will change, and it must change. Again, if it is not changing, if it is static, flatline means dead. We don't want to be dead whilst we are still breathing, right? If we are breathing, we should be alive. And if we are alive, we need to be on a path of growth, right? So if you think your work is important, it is important you work upon yourself. This is very important. I am doing so much things, so many things, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ठीक है भाई, सब ठीक। बट अगर आपको लगता है कि जो काम आप कर रहे हैं वो बहुत जरूरी है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, it is of great significance to the humanity, is it not important that you also work upon yourself? Is it not important that you take cognizance of the fact that I also need to work upon myself? It is important not just for me to work outside, but also for me to work upon this one. Work inside, look inside. And this is again a very powerful belief system I want you to implement and install in your life right away. No matter what you're doing, you may be a successful medical practitioner, you may be a lawyer, you may be just a student, you may be just a housewife. But believe you me, just a housewife is not a mere commodity. A housewife has the power to transform the whole family. A student has the power to transform the whole world. A lawyer may just win one case at a time, 10 cases at a time, whatever the number of cases he's fighting. A doctor just may save the number of patients that are coming to him in a day. But the power and authenticity of a housewife and student often go ignored. So just leave aside your professions. If you think what you are doing is important in life, it is very important to work upon yourself. And no matter what you're doing, at least, if not more, 30 minutes in a day you can invest upon yourself, right? Choose anything that you resonate with. You could be doing a puja, a havan, you could be meditating, you could be gardening, you could be just going for a brisk morning walk, you could be reading books, you could be watching informative programs on televisions, you could be watching educational content, enrolling in courses. Anything works if you are ready to work. And it is important that you are ready to work upon yourself. That's the only requirement. That willingness to work and receptivity to experience things, receptivity to learn things. That's all. That's all that matters. So if you want to have deep insights into life, no one's opinion about you should mean anything to you. People are praising you, okay, very good. People are literally defaming you, okay, very good. Anything and everything that happens should have no consequence, no impact on what you are doing, not just for your personal development, but what you are doing in life as a whole, how you are approaching to life. आज किसी ने मुझे दो बातें सुना दी, पूरा दिन डिप्रेस, कितना बुरा है ये व्यक्ति, कितना नीरस है ये जीवन. कल को किसी ने मुझे दो बातें अच्छी बोल दी एंड आई फील लाइक क्लाउड नाइन, ओह, आई एम द बॉस. This is not how life works. If you want to have deep insights into life, absolutely no one's opinion should matter to you. Whatever people are saying, let them say. In Gita, there's a beautiful verse. It comes in the second chapter, maybe verse 56, 57. It talks about equanimity. It says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan part manogatan atmanye vatmana tushtha sthit dhir munirichyate. So what it essentially is trying to communicate is, no matter what situations are, you just be steadfast. Steadfast to your actions, steadfast to your path, whatever the path you've chosen for yourself. If I were to use another verse from Bhagavad Gita, it says, Sukh dukhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhai yujyasva nevam papam vapsasi. So what Sri Krishna is trying to say, a depressed Arjun, is whether it is joy or misery, whether it is a victory or loss, whether it is profit or loss, whatever the duality, if you are just as much as doing what you are supposed to do without any involvement with the result, but full involvement with the process, mark the difference. No involvement with the result, no expectations of the result, but full involvement with the process. No matter what you do, you will attain to the ultimate. In this case, it was about fighting a war, waging a war against your own relatives. So he was like, even if you do it, you will not be a sinner anymore if you are just involved in the process and not expecting any results. That's all it means. So again, this is something that I just want to read it out for you. This is not something that I'll be expounding, and neither do I have the courage, the capacity, or the competence to be actually commenting about things, topics which are as deep as this one. But this is something that I read in the book Karma by Sadhguru. If you want to deal, and I'm paraphrasing it by the way, if you want to deal with your karma, the simplest thing is to have absolute dispassion for yourself and total passion for everything else. So what it is talking about is absolute dispassion for this one. This one, there should be absolute dispassion. But for everything else, total passion, absolute passion. You are 100% dedicated to the process. That's essentially what it is trying to say. And I don't want to be delving too deep into it. All you don't need to do is to manage stress. You don't need to manage stress because after all, you manage things which are precious to you. You manage life, you manage time, you manage money, you manage relationships. But stress, hang on, is it of any significance in life? If yes, please go and manage stress. If no, please, please eliminate stress once and for all. You see, all human experiences are generated within us, nowhere but within us. And what it means is essentially your experience of life is entirely your making. So, just as I told you a couple of moments ago, that in life there are no problems. If there are no problems, where is the scope of stress? If there are no problems, if there are only situations, you just need to go through the situations playfully. That's it. That's what I said meant when I said just handle the immediate playfully. Because your experience of life is entirely your making. And the choice is with you. You want to turn every situation into a joyful situation, into a pleasurable situation, into a jovial situation, or you want to turn anything and everything that happens to you into misery, into agony, into suffering, is entirely your choice. That's literally making of your life. This is the crux of designing your own life. So, above all and in all, the most important thing is balance or lack of balance. If you are steadfast, if you are equanimous, if you are clear, that is balance. If it is anything other than this, it is lack of balance. If it is lack of balance in life, you will always be finding it difficult to juggle the balls. If you are seated on a stable platform, if you are standing on a stable platform, you can juggle as many balls as is there in your capability. But even if you are a pro at it, even if you are a pro at juggling the balls, and you are standing at a ground which is shaky, you are standing on a mushy ground, you are walking on a tightrope, there is lack of balance. In that case, even if you are a pro at juggling 100 balls, you will struggle to juggle even two balls. So, what is essential is to create this balance in life. And with this, let me know in the chat box which is your favorite life sutra so far. Whatever we have discussed so many things. You might have made a note of it. You might not have made a note of it. You may have taken a screenshot. You may not have taken a screenshot. You may have listened to anything and everything that I've said with great intent, or you may have just heard me from 1 year and whatever it is. Let me know in the comment section how did you find this particular section, the Life Sutras, and which is your favorite Life Sutra to begin with? Which is the one that resonated the most with you? I've told you mine. It's time to see which one you found the most interesting one.